Calling the missing persons.
We're going to call in a missing persons if Mike wasn't there. Whew.
All right,
That was
boys.
close.
The show can commence. Mike's here.
Yeah. It's all right. There's always one.
That was me. I'm sorry.
It's your turn.
It was me.
Oh, and Michael, we appreciate that. It is, to us, the best time of the week for sure. We like it. What's up, Will? How we doing? I need to start putting people on the screen. We'll go up here. We'll start here. Mike.
Are we on mute? They can't hear us.
I don't see mute anywhere. I see
Okay.
goodness.
Okay.
Hello, Tori. Hello on the YouTubes. We like to see that little red triangle. And thanks for confirming with us, Mike, on that. We appreciate that. All right, pull up my show notes. Oh, hi there, and happy birthday. Oh, Canada. Canada's tuning in.
There we go.
All of Canada.
At least the northwestern part.
Right. It's good to be there. It's real good to be there. All right, let's see. Oh, John, thanks for the update on that. I should have recognized the Jeep. There he is, the man.
Dave.
All right, we're quiet today. We were all talkative. We were jamming along, and then I hit live, and we got real quiet.
Shh. There's a podcast going on.
Right.
Shh, there's recording going on. We have
That's
to
right.
be
Keep it
quiet.
Keep it quiet. What's up, Mark? How we doing? Jerry. What's up, Christina from the other side of the state? What's up, Nick? How we doing? That's a new name, I think. On the YouTubes, I like it. I'm excited about tonight's show.
Yeah, it's good. Some good stuff.
It's gonna be good.
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
You know, bolts and nuts. It's gonna be good.
Yep. Definitely will.
You're a whole bunch of bolts and nuts.
Jerry, it's good to hear, man. I am going to try to make it. I'm about 85%.
I don't know if I'm 85%.
This weekend.
Amy and I talked about going.
Yeah.
Date.
Yeah.
Wheeling trip.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. For the morning, anyway.
Oh, there we go. Got some South Carolina love going on. I've been there before. It's nice. And when younger in high school, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina was a place to be.
Yeah.
Like here going to the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
That was our shore. It was a good time.
How far is it from Tennessee, South Carolina? Beach?
Probably 4 hours.
Well, it's not that bad, really.
No. So it was fun. What's up, Dan? Joe, how we doing? Oh, we didn't bring in any of his goodie.
I know.
Too much going on.
Wait.
Man, you know what I could go for? A chili cheese dog.
Ooh, anybody out there got a chili cheese dog?
I can't eat another damn thing.
Send it
God,
with some bacon.
Seriously, could. Oh, I'm so bummed about that.
I am too. What's up, Jason?
So much food.
Oh,
You can only eat so much bacon.
Oh, no.
I mean, it is a lot till you hit that point,
Yeah.
but you get to that point and you're like, water.
It was a 50-50 bacon burger ground beef. So it was ground
50-50.
It was ground beef.
What
or-
was that
and
like?
Ground
Tell
bacon.
us.
Did you have that? Did you eat that?
What was it like? Come
That's
on.
lit.
It's like a log sitting in my stomach right now.
I don't care about that. What
Yeah.
did it taste
Oh, my
like?
God.
It was delicious.
What kind of cheese?
I don't even know. It was just melted in your mouth. They had like the crispy onions on top. That were a little
Yeah.
crunchy.
Caramelized.
Oh.
Caramelized.
And
Sorry.
then bacon jam, and then they had like some Chipotle
Bacon
Asiago or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Oh, on this like, the bun had poppy seeds on it too. It was like
Greasy too, a little bit. 'Cause that's
greasy. It was like
yeah,
dripping like down your
yes.
chin. It was like
Oh God, I'm ready.
Yeah. we have now changed our podcast to the greasiest food imaginable podcast.com.
So ready for that cheeseburger.
It was so.
I am
good.
too.
I remember I had, maybe it wasn't there, maybe it was somewhere else, but one of those bacon on a stick things where it's
Yeah.
like a slab.
Yeah.
So good.
I don't care what it is except for a milkshake. I want bacon in it. Do not do a bacon milkshake.
No?
No, I tried that and I nearly lost it.
No kidding.
And it wasn't the fact
I
that it
think
was bad. I think it was
The texture.
mentally the bacon and the ice
Yeah.
cream. No, I
So I had chocolate chip bacon cookies. They were actually pretty good.
chocolate chip
Bacon cookies. Bacon in the
Mm.
chocolate chip
Hmm.
cookies.
Huh.
It was good.
Wasn't?
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
It was actually, I mean, now it wasn't like I would go out of my way to make them myself,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was good. It was tolerable. But anyway, I could, man. Chili cheese
I could
dog,
use some
I'm
bacon.
back to that.
Mike comes in with chocolate bacon shakes are awesome. All right, go for it.
Anybody remember that lived in the Allentown area, the 39-cent hamburger stands that were around? When I was growing up, so
That cannot be good for you.
Oh my God, it was not. But, and it resembled nothing like a chili cheese dog, but for some reason they were just so good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
See if
Yums.
anybody out there remembers.
All right, what we think? We ready to get this party rolling? I'm going to ask everybody to go out and share this. Let's get some peoples on. We've got new faces on, but tell your friends. Share it out there. Get as many people as we can on. We love. Mike says he remembers when it was 29 cents. So you're
Mike's a little bit old.
you got hit for
He's
inflation.
right. A feast for under $10. It was so true. You could get bloated on like $4 there.
Dude, that's how I felt about Taco Bell in college.
Yeah.
Dude,
It was right. It was like
49-cent tacos or whatever it was.
Yeah, you had to get soft shell and just cheese in it, and it was. But yeah, I can remember going there and getting like one of everything on the menu, and it was like $12.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
I'll take the right side of the menu board today.
And the chili cheese fries came in the same. Everything came in like a one of those styrofoam hot dog things. Like if you got
Everything, yeah.
everything. It was awesome.
I love it. All right, we're gonna let's talk a little bit about some partners.
I'm looking at houses.
All right, you look at houses. I'm gonna lead the start on the partners, and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with our good friends at Off Camera Lighting. You know them, you love them. I got that sweet 20% discount. Jeep Life Pod.
It's good stuff.
Go there right now. Get that pin light. That's
Yeah.
The other light actually is really cool because you can recharge it
Yep.
and charge stuff off of it.
It's kind of like a multi-tool.
It's a multi-tool.
Yep.
It's the Swiss Army
Yep.
knife of flashlights, if you will.
Yep.
But I love it. So go there, use that 20% discount. Rockslide Engineering has a discount code for us. Jeep Life 10. So get you 10% off at Rockslide Engineering system. We're a good friend of theirs, and we love those tables, those double-decker tables.
Yes.
Those are
I really like. It's just perfect to rebuild my parts on the back of the Jeep.
yeah.
Like we could do Billy's U-joints there.
Right. We could rebuild them on the trail.
Yep.
Right.
What about you joints?
I said with those tables, with the Rockslide Engineering
You can't
tables.
do it with the no.
Yeah, you can.
No, you
You
can't.
just got to prop a log under it.
You do.
with a hammer.
You do that. Treadlightly.org. 50% off of their $50 and $100 memberships. We're going to be celebrating a little bit later from Tread Lightly.
Yeah, big news.
Big news. But yeah, go there now. Get their membership. You won't be disappointed. The
No.
shirt is awesome.
Yeah, my
and-
favorite. I just had it on yesterday.
And you're doing good things.
I feel really
Right?
good about that partnership, and
Yeah.
and when I when we go out and do trail stuff, trail maintenance stuff, or
We get to represent
Yes.
and do good things. And we try to set the good example even before we belong to Tread Lightly.
yeah,
We still believed in the principles.
I think I'm gonna look into there's like a low level tread trainer
Yeah.
where like you can train kids and stuff. I think.
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna-
like that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get into that.
I think you should. You're just the right disposition. For
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
You have quite the sway. Pypes, our good friends at Pypes, has offered us a free shipping code for our listeners at Jeep Life. I know there's been some people take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And
Really great exhaust for the money.
yeah. Well, our hot boy in residence
I saw that.
posted a video of his
Yeah.
cold start
Yeah,
this past week, and it sounded pretty
saw
good. I
damn,
gotta
sounds
tell you.
damn good.
So but they've got a free shipping code. Jeep Life, really good people there. I might try to go visit them.
Yeah. I'm kind of getting tired
soon.
of my exhaust. I think mine's a little loud for me.
Yeah, you need to
Just a
tame
little.
the beast just
Yeah,
a
a
little.
little bit.
I mean, the both of you.
Nah.
F
Billy
the both
never
of you.
will. That's like
I know, right?
So I think I might do a Pypes.
I like it.
Not I might do a Pypes. If I change it, it's going to be Pypes.
It's going to be Pypes. Yeah. I mean, who else?
Right.
And the power tanks. I almost broke that out
Yeah.
today,
Yeah?
but I did break it out 2 days ago because the cold weather hit in
Yeah.
and the pressure in my tires dropped.
Isn't it amazing how big tires
It's
like
ridiculous.
So normal tires, you lose 3 psi, not a big deal because you're at 35. But when you're running 18 and you drop 3 or 4,
I know, right? It really impacted. So I
Yeah.
I had to throw 4 or 5
same.
pounds
But
in there, and it took longer to get the tank out of the Jeep than
To
it did
fill
to
it up.
do all 4 tires.
So I had to use I use my compressor at home, and what a freaking I wish I would have had the power tanks with me because the compressor's a pain in the ass. Get the line out, fire the compressor up, wait for it to build pressure.
Tell me
what
more,
about
tell
what
me
about
more.
the compressor today?
Let's not talk about it. I'm not. No. Shut the hell up. All right.
All right, I'll shut
Stop.
the hell up. I won't mention anything about throwing breakers and shit.
Mine does that all the time.
It was like the compressor and like 2 lights are on one breaker.
Yep.
And it just nope.
Yep.
No, it was
And
pissed.
then,
My
and then the
favorite-
breaker starts going bad, like it starts flipping too much, so
Yeah.
then it like wears out, so
Yeah.
then it flips up prematurely, and
Yeah.
you're just like, well, now I just got to change this sucker.
Yeah,
out.
because mine's on the same circuit as a family room, so I gotta like yell in, turn the TV off, turn all the lights off, till the compressor kicks on. Once it's running, it's just that startup amperage. Once it's running, it's fine.
Yeah.
All right, you can turn the TV back on.
But they are offering a discount for a power tank. I recommend it wholeheartedly. Jeep Life Pod 15. Go get your complete system from there. Definitely gotta have it. And our last one tonight is Armalite. Armalite has given a discount code, and it's Jeep Life Podcast 10. I know they finally released their pink drain
yeah?
plugs, And man, they look
nice.
sharp
Yeah.
because they gave it was crowdsourced which
Right.
pink did you want to go with, and they went with the popular one, and
Nice.
and it looks really good, and it's out there to support breast cancer. And
Yeah.
um,
That's cool.
I'm thinking about buying a set just to buy a set, and
Yeah. Throw 'em in.
rock them every once in a while.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, to show my support. So I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna
Very
do
cool.
that. But we appreciate all of our partners for sure, and we can't do our show without them.
No.
So without further ado,
Hit that button.
I'm going to hit that button. But I don't know why, but when we came back from commercial, we were muted. So, well, anyway, welcome to the Jeep Life podcast. We're good. We're live. We got sound now.
I don't know. This is giant.
There's
What's going
ghosts
on with our
in the
technology
machines.
right now, man?
Dude, all right, so this coming week, I'm going to blow it all out.
Technological
And I'm going
cluster
to,
truck.
we are going to upgrade everything, and we're going to,
Oh.
I've done no updates in software land because I didn't want things to break, and things are breaking. And so, yeah, I know. It did it.
This is my... That sound is my mic not staying up.
Need a little blue pill for that.
I got keeping it up problems.
And it's
Dodd, you got those problems, Dodd?
this is all Canada's fault.
It's
He's the
Canada's-
reason this
Canada's
is
fault.
devolved.
Because you think he sent you the kilometers per hour or what?
Yeah.
No, it's the daylight savings time stuff.
That's it. We're completely
It
off
feels like
100%.
it's supposed to be midnight right now.
dude. It is so dark outside, so dark.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I like it. Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to do this?
Because the government dumb.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it. There
No.
is actually no reason
not
whatsoever.
in the
for daylight
21st century,
saving
not or 22nd century or 35th century or whatever.
whatever
we're in.
yeah. We got Jeeps now.
We do. So I want to thank you on air personally
Oh.
because I now have a steering stabilizer.
You mean your Jeep drives down the road in a reasonable fashion?
It does drive down the road. And, for those people out there, do not drive your Jeep
It
without
is
a steering
technically illegal
stabilizer.
to
Yeah.
drive your Jeep without a steering stabilizer because it is part of your inspection, and
Yeah.
if you remove it from your vehicle, it is against the inspection code.
Well, if I didn't remove mine,
Theoretically.
I wouldn't have been able to turn right or left.
Correct. In an emergency situation, you would need to do it. However, it is expected that you
Maintain.
Yes, you maintain your vehicle in a safe operating manner.
Obviously, they've never met me.
And obviously that we had to say all of that for the legal reasons.
Yeah, so our lawyers, our legal team, wouldn't let us go. But thanks for putting that on
Yeah,
for
man.
me. It drives like a dream.
I bet it does.
Yeah. So since I've gotten the suspension redone since I broke my steering stabilizer, and we weren't able to install it at that point, but now we have it on and drives like a dream.
Life's good.
I had a real nice little shimmy between 42 and 46
Wasn't really
miles.
little.
No, it wasn't
It
little.
was like on the verge of doing death wobble.
It was, that's in the 70s they had those 50s, 60s, and 70s, they had those things that you put around your waist and
shake
and
it,
shake
yeah.
it for you because you're going to lose weight doing
Right,
that.
Yep.
It was pretty much that. I had that, and it doesn't work then. It doesn't work now. I lost 0 pounds.
Yeah, you tried.
I
For
did.
effort.
But I highly recommend getting a steering stabilizer on your Jeep if you don't have
Is that one adjustable? I don't remember. I don't think it is.
I don't know. Yeah.
Is that steering stabilizer adjustable?
Yeah,
Is
but
it?
it's by pressure.
Okay, so like the shocks.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
So now
remote
you got
reservoir.
like matching stuff all the way around.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I've
Except
got
for
silver
colors.
on
Yeah, I was just gonna
silver on
say.
one side, black on the other side, and a gray in the front.
Yep.
So colors, they don't match. But
Oh, well.
I don't care. It drives extremely well. So now I have Fox all the way around.
It's all Fox.
And
Fox.
I would have never done that in my wildest dreams, but here it is.
You got it.
All right, so I see Alias didn't make it today.
No, but he's
He's good? He's
yeah,
okay?
Well, actually, Alias doesn't really.
Does
Alias
Alias
is
have a hangover
no,
today?
Alias is gender neutral. So Alias doesn't identify as a he or she. So
Is it they?
right,
It and they.
it and they. It is sitting in the garage.
All right.
But I did put the Dirty Dog
Oh yeah.
sunscreen.
Sunshades
on.
Yeah, which works great if you have it top on or off.
Yeah, well,
Doesn't matter.
that's why I put. I know it's
Yeah.
winter, but I'll just throw a top up on over them.
Yeah.
So I threw them on. They fit great.
Yeah.
Quality stuff. They were easy to put on. I put them on, and then I got up this morning and tightened them up because they were a little. After I put them on, they
Yep.
sagged a little, but they tightened right up, and they're nice. They're I like them. I like the yellow Dirty Dog tag on the top.
It is. It's a nice touch.
Yeah,
It stands out.
Yeah.
I have had Alien. There was another. I tried them all,
You're
and
an alien.
and all of them were very difficult to install.
Yeah.
Dirty Dog, super easy to install.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it looks great.
I'm digging it. I
Yeah.
actually took it out for a ride Friday night.
Oh, cool.
Just,
It
I
was
had to go-
nice.
It wasn't bad. I had to
No,
go pick
right.
up my daughter, and I was only in town, so I just ran into town with it, and it was cool. I mean,
Nice.
I think it cuts out a little bit of wind, which is kind of nice. It doesn't kill you with
Yep.
with wind, but I
I
like
think
it.
it cuts out a lot of wind.
You think so? It was
A lot.
hard to tell because it wasn't going that fast.
Yeah. Wait
but-
till the spring
Yeah.
when you can get on highway speeds and all
Yep,
that stuff.
yep.
You'll see.
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay.
Nope.
We are going to celebrate one of the members of the Jeep Life podcast team.
I would agree with. Well,
And he is
honorary member.
no, he's our technical advisor. Yeah, I'm not giving up.
I haven't
on
heard
him.
from him lately.
I do. I saw him. I saw him 2 days
where's
ago.
Where's this takeover that we supposedly
I
were
know
hear
we're
again?
gonna get one. But anyway, our good friend Scott Ammerman and
This is why we haven't heard from him.
I know he's busy. But he and Go Fox Adventures did an amazing
Saw
job,
that.
and they earned the BF Goodrich. What do you call those? Grants
Yeah.
for trail cleanups and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So he will take that and use it for even better
Mhm.
things. But I'm going to read this straight off of Tread Lightly's
Their webpage.
press release. And so Go Fox Adventures Cleanup, Boblett's Gap Recreation Areas in Virginia. Now, I was supposed to go with him on this, and my Jeep wasn't ready. I didn't feel ready. But anyway, Go Fox Adventures, off-road enthusiasts from several East Coast states, along with the U.S. Forest Service, will be working to remove illegally dumped trash along motorized trail routes and disperse camping areas in the Boblett's Gap Recreation Area. Now, this is in Virginia. Volunteers from the off-road community will also assist in the installation of new Tread Lightly ethics signage to encourage responsible use and promote sustainable access to all. Now, those signs are really cool.
Yeah,
we've installed them
Yes.
at AOA, and they really talk about what they do. Boblett's Gap is a crossroads not just of several trails, but of different types of recreationists, says Scott Ammerman, Go Fox Adventures founder. Equestrian, pedestrian, motorized vehicles are all permitted on this one section of the trail and have been for decades. It's also an underpass below the Blue Ridge Parkway, which if you've ever driven on,
It's beautiful.
it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's one of the great hidden gems
Yep.
in the U.S. and intersects the Appalachian Trail. Unfortunately, some of the trash we removed was also been there for generations. We found several antique embossed glass beer bottles, as well as cast iron household items, which would have been interesting to see in any other context. But it feels good to finally remove some of the debris that has been there for a long time. And we're happy our stewardship education efforts will mean the next 70 years will be a little bit better.
Yeah, he's been working this means so much to him. It's become such a big part of his life, and he's, Scott's really good at bringing things to people and opening their eyes on it. So I think I'm glad he's doing this. He's the man for the job.
He is.
If they need a voice, he's the man. So,
Well, he embodies it.
He does. He
and
gets
everything he does.
Everything he does. So he gets hyper focused on things.
Yeah.
And
that's fair.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean,
No,
everybody
not
uses
at all.
hyper focus in
Not at
a
all.
negative term. It's not. He it's like you said, he embodies everything he does that he believes in passionately, and this couldn't be a more worthwhile cause. We need more people like him out there doing this.
Yeah.
And it would make a huge difference. I mean, if we get 50 Scott Ammermans across the nation, we'd solve all problems.
The world would be a much better place.
Yeah.
And
Frustrated and angry.
Right.
Yeah.
We love Scott. There's never been a bigger asshole on the planet, but we love
I
Scott.
don't know. He's just direct.
He's
you
very direct.
You gotta love it.
I love him. I love him so
but,
much. So congratulations
absolutely.
to him and his team for that. We love it. It couldn't be nicer people.
So
Yeah.
one thing that, and it doesn't just stop at this. Bob, I'm gonna butcher this name.
Yeah.
So it doesn't stop just doing this one project for him. That's the thing, and it shouldn't stop for any of us being out on the trail, no matter where you're at.
Needs to be part of what we do on, or part of our routine.
Right. So this isn't just a thing of, yes, absolutely, congratulations, Scott, but let's learn from this and let's take it to the next time we're out and the next time we're out off-roading. Take a small trash bag with you, fill it, take it out with you.
Yep.
Take a note out of Scott's book.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of other stuff too. I mean that we need to practice, and we've all been guilty at times. But staying on trail, trying not to move, stacking rocks and things like that. You can't always avoid that. But if you got to stack a rock, put it back.
Well, one of the big things that he's doing here is he's cleaning up camping areas too. Like we all go camping.
Yep.
Overlanding is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you see a lot of YouTube stars, they're starting to talk about it a little bit more, and other people are starting to talk about it. But these remote camping areas that, Scott actually goes and frequents and knows where these places are. He doesn't like showing up and seeing that there's, trash and this and that.
Who does?
Right, no one does.
Do you remember when we were in Boy Scouts and they used to line us up at the end but literally they'd line you up and you'd walk the campsite, the area, and look for trash. I mean, every little small piece. They wouldn't let you out of the line unless you found something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so kudos to him.
Yeah.
Our thanks to him and Tread Lightly for promoting that and making it available. BF Goodrich, who I love their tires, and they want to get as many old dirty tires out of the woods as possible, so they make things like this
true.
happen.
I mean, BFG puts a lot of time, energy into this and money,
Yeah,
so.
and these aren't little grants. There's a pretty good sized grant. So
yeah, I know. And so, that in itself is enough for me to buy a set of BFGs.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd support a company that's supporting what we do.
Yeah, I think it's big to look at the beliefs of a company too.
It really is. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are other tires. I think the BFG is, probably one of the best tires out there right now. There's other tires I like, but this kind of stuff will sway me.
That can push you over if you're 50-50.
Yeah,
I can definitely push you. Sure,
yep.
Absolutely. All right.
In fact, a certain club member is getting 5 new BFGs this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Brandon, we're putting 5 new BFGs.
Oh, he needs it.
Cool.
He needs it. His tires are just bald.
Yeah, they are.
We've got a couple emails.
Yes.
And
hi, fellas.
Yeah. That's where it starts.
In your last show, you reminded me that I forgot to identify where I lived. Well, I don't know who it is. Oh, I got to go to the bottom for this. Oh, it's TV.
Yeah, it's TV.
Yeah.
So he's selling where he lives. So TV lives in Middletown, New York. I thought I might generate some discussion if I'd provide some key data points from the spreadsheet I've been maintaining on my Jeep 4XE since June of 2021. Despite my efforts, this message is too long to read during the show, but you may be able to extract specific metrics that could fuel.
I did.
Fudded Ted did. Fuel.
I did.
Talk about fuel.
I extracted some numbers and did some comparisons.
Discussion.
Yeah.
So the purchase, I guess this is when he purchased it. So he ordered it in December of 2020 and picked it up from the dealer on the 22nd of April 2021. Vehicle cost fully spec'd out minus the tow package. So this is, he went in to the builder and this is what I want. $65,000, $435 before a $7,500 federal tax deduction and a $2,000 New York State dealer rebate. So that's because it's a fuel efficient vehicle.
Right.
Well, there's
hybrid
right now.
Yeah.
There's federal grants, or not grants, but rebates out there for hybrid vehicles. If I forget what the criteria is, but it differs depending on various things. I think, and they're talking about upping that too.
So the performance from the 19th of June to the 22nd of October 2021. He's driven an average of 1,602 miles per month. In 19 weeks, I had to visit the gas station 13 times to fuel up.
I did that last week. 13 times.
God.
Yeah.
So in 19 weeks, he's only visited the gas station 13 times.
Yep.
Has a level 2 charging station installed in his driveway that he uses whenever the electricity rates are less per mile than gasoline, which is practically always. But that's wild.
So go ahead and read the next one down, because this is where I got into trying to figure out how I could convey this to our
an average MPG, and I got to see if I'm reading this right. Is that a minus sign in front?
That's approximately
23 miles per gallon.
Approximately 23 miles per gallon. Average energy cost per mile is 10 cents, including gasoline and electricity.
Right. So, and I'm going to stop you there.
Yep.
Plug-in hybrids are really hard. Like, since I did that hybrid training class, I've gone gung-ho on this. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to build plug-in hybrids out of hybrids. And
so I have a question.
Go ahead.
When your Jeep idles, so when he starts his Jeep, his MPG starts running.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if when you start a hybrid vehicle and you want it to warm up, you still don't they still have to go through a warm-up cycle, those motors sometimes?
The engine or motor?
The engine itself.
The engine itself, well, so the 4xe, if I remember correctly, and this was only a month ago, so I should, but I don't. I think it has an onboard heater, which will keep the coolant at a certain temperature. But that may be for the battery. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember exactly.
It also depends on what mode it is, because when I started the one that I drove,
right,
it didn't start the gas motor.
Right.
Until I put it in gear and went to back away.
Right.
So I don't know if that's the auto stop feature.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or if that's in a certain setting.
We got to read his next.
All right, well, hold on before we go further. Yeah. So it's really hard to determine with a plug-in hybrid, like the cost. But I like what he did. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody do this, but the cost per mile. I didn't want one step further, and I added in maintenance. Okay, so.
Yeah.
Now, how do you compare it? We got nothing to compare. It's not like you buy a car and they have that advertised normally or readily, blatantly on a. They have a overall cost of ownership.
Yep.
But not cost per mile, which is a really interesting way to look at it.
Yep.
So I figured out the cost per mile for the Honda. Okay, so 2002 Honda, it gets 30 miles to the gallon all day long. put it to the floor, 30 miles a gallon. Cruising down the highway, 30 miles a
Idle
gallon.
it.
Idle it, 30 miles a gallon. It doesn't matter. Okay. Based on the maintenance of that car, I've had that car about 50,000 miles now. And based on, I did some calculations for replacing the factory tires on a Rubicon. And the Honda costs me 12 cents a mile to drive. The Jeep 4xe Rubicon costs 13.5 cents a mile to drive.
With maintenance.
And really what it came down to was the maintenance costs.
Yeah.
The Jeep was actually cheaper than the Honda gas-wise.
Yeah.
So that kind of gives you some kind of idea of savings. Now, and that maintenance cost may came down. I based that on 7,500 mile intervals for oil changes. It may be different because you're not running that engine all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I couldn't find that info.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, keep it going.
So many questions.
Yeah.
All right. 64% of the miles I've driven totally under electric power. 36 of the miles have been driven in hybrid mode, which uses the gasoline and electric controlled by the vehicle's computer, just like any modern pure hybrid vehicles. Only setting that allows the exclusive gasoline use is eSave, which prioritizes gasoline use to preserve or augment the battery's charging status. eSave has two settings: preserve the current battery status for later use, i.e. for riding trails silently, and preserve and add to the battery charge for later use, i.e. if battery level is dropping on long road trips and you know your charging stations are going to be scarce en route to your destination. The only time I use the later eSave option is on long highway drives of exceeding 100 miles. So he averages 1.82 miles per kilowatt. So that's saying that's like his MPG.
Yeah,
but
for
it's
electric.
MPE.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Miles per electricity.
Yeah.
Average vehicle range on a full tank and full battery is 415 miles, with an average vehicle range full battery, pure electric mode is 22.5 miles. Can't wait to hear your thoughts, TV. That's a lot.
Love this follow-up to our discussion. It's ridiculous. Now, the average range of approximately 415 miles is really, really good. It shocks me when I say this. I'm not as disappointed in the 22.5 miles out of the electricity as I thought I would be. When I saw that number, like the first time that Jeep released that kind of information, I was
halfway
like,
to work.
that's not very good.
But it is comparatively speaking.
Right, when you factor in all the other stuff, because that regeneration that you get out of it, and when you're out on the trail, you're not covering 22.5 miles, right? So I that's exciting, and we appreciate that email.
Yep.
And it was great information that we had, Don, you had asked for.
I'll take that stuff all day long. Keep it
I know
coming.
you're a nerd. I love it.
Yep. We have one more email.
I was going to say, we have one more email, a surprise email.
Hey, I hear you guys will be wheeling with those guys in their Wheeling America tour. So I guess they're talking about, and this is from our friend Mark Campbell, this is Northwest reached out to us. So Northwest Jeepcast, awesome dudes. They got a great show.
Yeah.
They're doing something really, really cool. They're calling it's Wheeling America.
Yeah.
So they're hitting like all the cool places in the country. They're doing, I don't know if it's 3 or 4 months. I gotta.
And they're coming to our area.
Coming to our area.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a show with them.
Yep.
Sit down and hang out with them. We're gonna do a show.
At
least one show.
Yep.
We're going to do some wheeling with them. However, Billy's going to have to support us on that end because their rigs are huge.
Yeah.
What?
Either that or we got to drop some coin and get busy.
We got to get busy.
I got huge covered.
They got some big rigs, but we're gonna go out and do some wheeling with them if we have to. We'll do like we did a couple other times. We did stuff. We'll just kind of do the side shoots. Or whatever. And I know they're going to do. They're going to have days when they're just doing blacks and reds, and days when they're doing blues and blacks, and while they're up here.
I
So
love it.
they have, and we'll get you guys caught up. I don't have the info off the top of my head, but they have a website that you can go. I think if you go to their NorthwestJeepcast.com, you can sign up there for going for a ride with those guys. And,
Jerry asks, Patreon members get the wheel? And
Oh,
let's talk to those guys and see if they'll be into that sort of thing.
Yeah.
As
we'll
I-
do that.
I think that would be a really good idea.
Yeah.
I like
All
that.
right.
Yeah. Speaking
And
of
if
Patreon,
not, we can do a day with them, and maybe they'll do a meet and greet with our Patreons.
Yeah,
I don't
there
know how
we
big
go.
the groups.
Yeah,
groups.
there we
But
go.
yeah. So we're stoked. They're going to be at Roush. They're going to be at OA, and we're going to hang out with them when they're in the area.
yeah, I love it.
More later.
More to come.
More to come.
So our thanks to Mark for sending that to us.
Yep.
Our thanks to the guys over at Northwest Podcast. I
yeah,
know
they're
that
like us, but on the West Coast.
on the West Coast,
right.
And I know that when we started this, we tried to listen to everybody out there
Yeah.
and take the good things that they were doing
Yes.
and kind of mold them into our own
Yeah.
way, and then take the shit that was going on out there and throw it out.
Throw it out. Right.
And I think we've done a pretty decent job of that.
I don't listen to. I mean, to be honest with you, Jeep stuff. I listen to Northwest and us, and that's it. To be honest with you, not knocking anybody else's, but I just think that the knowledge level of Northwest. I mean, I can still turn them on and pick things up.
Yep.
So
Well, I that's my standard listen, but every once in a while I want to take a gauge, take a temperature read of where we are.
Right.
And
Listen to other-
we'll listen to other people, and I still feel good about what we're doing.
Yeah, but I like I said, I mean, I dig those guys. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so that's exciting. I
Yep.
love it. So we'll see you out on the trail with them. Now,
Anyone got a set of 40s and tons that I can borrow?
right?
I give them back after that.
I'll tape them on for the ride. I got an interesting text from my old boss in California,
Yeah.
and he always does. He's a car guy. He's a Mustang guy. He owns a Cobra, that sort of thing. But anytime something Jeep related comes on, he's always kind of bringing me into the loop and then asking my thoughts. And so he sent me a link from Jalopnik, which if you
Yes.
that's a great magazine.
Yes, it is.
They don't take themselves too serious, but they know their automobiles. They had an article about a guy who took a TJ and dropped a V10 straight out of a Viper.
I'm okay with it.
Actually, it wasn't out of a Viper, but it was a Viper motor.
It was
was taken out of a Ram truck or something.
Well, they had it. So they did a Viper package in a Ram truck.
Oh, right,
and that's
right,
what
that's
it was
it,
out of.
that's
I mean,
it.
it's a legit Viper engine.
Yeah. So and it's a beautiful engine too.
Yeah.
I mean, when you crank open the hood and
Yeah.
look at it. So I sent it out to you guys, and it was.
What was my reply?
Oh, dude, it was something like
Yeah, if only I had endless amounts of
That's
money
it,
and
that's it.
time, you
Yeah.
know, the stupid shit I could do.
and it was. I mean, it's simply stupid shit because there's no more room in the engine bay.
Now,
I mean, it literally
No.
to change the spark plugs, you have to pull the motor.
yeah.
I mean,
So I mean, so the other part of it is like the transmission's fairly large for that. It's got to go tail shaft, like
Yeah.
cardan joint.
It's
and
huge.
yoke. I know.
well, his question to me is, how good would it be? I know on a street
Terrible.
it'd be
No,
fast,
it's
but how
so
good on
heavy.
a trail? And that was
No.
my response back to him: is
Tons of torque in
weight.
those engines, though.
Weight is the only issue because you're probably adding.
Well, I
you're
think
adding
it's-
1/5 of the
It's
weight.
an aluminum engine, but it's a big engine, but it's a big it's
The
probably the same as
transmission,
honestly putting a Hemi conversion in it, maybe a little more.
But they've taken that particular one. They took it's got a Dana
you're
60
adding-
in the rear,
Right.
full size Dana 60 in the rear. It's got the full size Dodge truck
Right.
axle in the
Right.
front. So that's handling anything
Yeah.
You need that engine just
torque-wise.
to turn those.
I know.
Right.
It's true. It's true.
So, the fastest street car in the country right now, hands down, it's never. I mean, if you troll YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
I forget the name of the car, but it's the latest gen Viper, 2 turbos, on it, twin turbo, four
Yep.
turbo, 2,900 horsepower. So it's that same engine that they're using there, but it's I mean, those engines are out of the box. So as a Viper technician, when I worked on them,
Yeah.
out of the box, the numbers don't look impressive until you get in them. I mean, you can do triple figures in third gear in a car. It's labeled as one of the most dangerous cars that you can buy. I mean,
Because the car itself is not heavy.
no,
And then you throw that engine in it.
and then they're animals. They're
Yeah.
absolute animals. So.
Hmm.
Chrysler built it to drive with the skinny pedal. I mean,
It's-
it's a driver's car.
It never fails when I can hear one pull beside me.
Yeah.
No matter what vehicle I'm
Yeah.
in. If I'm in Billy's vehicle, I can hear and feel that
Yep.
thing pull beside
Yep.
me. I'm in mine.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. And that's just raw power.
It
and then
is.
throw that into a Jeep
Yeah. We have one at school for training.
with a short wheelbase.
That's I don't know. I don't know how he fit it. I really don't. Like, legitimately, that is a physically large engine.
2,600 horsepower, twin turbo Viper, 9-liter stroker with a sequential turbo setup,
Is it black?
all blacked out.
Yes, that's the one.
I will drop
2,600 horsepower.
Yeah.
I will drop this link
Undefeated
into our
on the
show
street.
notes.
Yeah.
Because it is
That thing wakes up in the morning and pisses excellence.
You ought to see running it off the two-step. It just it just lights up both sides of the car.
yeah.
It's so cool. Viper
the key
engines
is
are cool.
street
the
legal.
street.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can put anything on giant drag tires and make it go stupid fast down a quarter mile.
Yeah. Stupid
It's
legal.
awesome.
Stupid fast, stupid legal, and I don't know. I really don't have any event. We have one event coming up this coming
We
weekend.
have, yeah,
Or
and
unless you
next-
have more.
no.
Tell me about it.
So we're going to Wheel to Heel, guys. Well, at least
Woo!
I am. I got friends that are going.
Right.
So we're going to Wheel to Heel, and Wheel to Heel is an amazing event that Apex Off-Road is partnering with Mission 22, and they are putting on an event a fundraiser to raise money for Mission 22 and veterans suicide awareness, and helping these veterans return to the United States from a tour or anything of the sort, and helping them acclimate back into society and everything like that. So that is up at AOAA, Anthracite Outdoor Adventure Arena.
Oh, that's right. Arena. Yes.
It's indoor now? That's
It
awesome.
is.
Yeah, it's an arena.
Dave moved it indoors. It was great.
So you got to check it out. Check out the show notes, and we will put the Eventbrite link into the show notes, and it's there. Don't worry about it.
I haven't had the heart to tell Billy, but every time he says AOAA fully out, it's never the right thing.
It's always
and so
so funny.
now he's going to try to
Come
use
up with
every
different
A word
word.
for it. So
We got arena this week.
Porzy, if you're listening, you've got a lot of shirts to make.
Arena,
you got a lot of shirts to make.
area.
But we'll see you out there on that event. We can't wait.
See you at the arena, guys.
See you at the arena. I'm real excited. You know, here at the Jeep Life podcast, when we say, "Hey, let's do a topic," and Don says, "I'll put together the notes," I know it's going to be good
Yeah.
because Dr. Don always takes us to.
Came up with like a flow chart and a spreadsheet and this and that. I'm
So
like,
we
many
were
colors.
outside in the dark last week after the show, and I was like, "So what are we going to do next week for?"
he's like, I'll put it together. Don't worry, I got it.
We're going to do headlights, and I'll put the notes together.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't say let's do headlights. Billy did.
I think I said
Billy-
lights.
Billy
and then
said
it
lights
turned into
and headlights.
headlights.
Yeah.
But I thought it was like, what a stellar idea, because we haven't talked about headlights in depth at all. And I think it's such an important topic, especially this time of year.
Well,
Because I can't see.
you know, the JK headlights were god awful.
Mm-hmm.
Just straight out, the stock ones are god awful.
Mm-hmm.
Huge
So the-
improvements
so
made
the
in the
reason
JL
why-
and the Jake and the JTs. Huge improvements.
They're just a halogen bulb. They're
Yep.
nothing fancy.
No,
halogen bulb, normal reflect, chrome
It's old
reflector.
technology.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's super old.
Same technology as around in the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
but I love that Dr. Don is going to start taking us to
Yes.
school.
So when we're talking about headlights, we have 4 versions. So the old school lights, sealed beam, which were introduced in 1939, and it incorporates all the components and is very serviceable, essentially just by replacing the entire unit. Standard bulb, sealed in the lens. There were 2 versions, main versions of them. They were, I forget what the designations are, but round and basically the rectangle ones that we saw up until the 80s. And then we switched over to halogen. So halogen was an improvement. And halogen headlights can be found on about 80% of the vehicles up until, again, the past 10 years. But we switched to halogen. Many advantages to them. They're cheaper to manufacture than the sealed beams, easy to replace. They gave a brighter light, and we'll talk about the differences in colors and things like that, than the sealed beam. And, you got about 1,000 hours out of them. Interestingly enough, halogen headlights consist of, it has a thin tungsten filament surrounded by a halogen gas. And then what happens is the halogen glass or the tungsten will heat the gas up till it ionizes. And basically what it means is that when you ionize a gas, it's now carrying current. Okay, so that's where the glow comes from. The next one up after that were high-intensity discharge lights, or xenon lights, as we call them. We saw them in the last decade in the early beginning in high-end cars, which works on the same principle as a halogen light. So you have a tungsten igniter in there, and we have a bunch of gases in there. Not a bunch, but a blend of gases. And we're doing the same thing. But the difference is that we're burning it at a much hotter temperature. In order to do it, though, it takes more heat to get it to light off. So you have to have a ballast with the xenon lights. And then takes actually they've got them down to milliseconds now, but it actually takes a little longer to get it burning than a halogen light, because you got to fire up more voltage, and we back the voltage down once it's burning to maintain the burn.
Okay.
It works in the same process or the same theory as halogen lights. We start ionizing the gas in there, and then it starts essentially burning. It's carrying electricity. I mean, it gets a little more in depth than that, but that's the gist of it.
But to me, I can't remember if you talked about this, but those burn at a more white color.
Yeah, so we'll talk about colors. So
and halogen burns more to
right,
yellow.
Why?
Right.
There's some reasons behind that. So after xenon lights, well, about the same time as xenon lights or headlights, were LED lights. But initially they were very, very expensive. So LED lights, it's light-emitting diode. We pass a current through a diode, which is essentially a one-way check valve. We change the way it's doped, and then it heats up and glows, and that's where you get the light from. The deal with HID lights is that they're really the refractory part of it is really hard to build. It's a very hard light to get to focus. So initially, that's why those prices were so high. Now they're starting to come down a little bit, and they're getting a lot more affordable than they were, when they first started out. So the light color has to do with the heat that we burn the gases at, like you were talking about. Halogen gas we burn at about 2,500 degrees Celsius.
Hot as shit.
I was going to say that's hot.
Yep. Which gives you a more, so as you climb the color scale with heat.
Yeah.
With
that's why you call it white hot.
Right.
Yeah, right.
You get I forget what it is, but it's like blue, white, clear, something like that, or it's white, blue, clear.
6,300, and then I think clear is the end.
Yeah.
And then it goes white, blue.
Blue is before
it goes
white.
Orange, white, then blue.
Yeah, well, isn't it orange, yellow? But anyway, the
So the color.
halogen, right, is color comes from how bright we burn the lights.
Okay.
Now, what's interesting is, and I did some of this research a while ago when I was teaching a class, but the human eye actually reacts better to the white light than it does the yellow light. So it works better for perception, glare, things like that, which is odd because I had a set of LED lights that I put in a car years ago, but I put them in halogen refractory units, and they were awful.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were awful.
Yeah.
Blinded people coming at me, or blinded people, coming towards me.
Yeah.
There was so much glare off of things, and that's what they're talking about with the refractory units. But anyway, we'll get into that in a little bit too. Xeon or high intensity lights burn at like 4,000 degrees, I think it was. It's crazy, and so you get that more crisp white light, and that's again, it's how we kind of react to it.
Yeah.
So comparing these lights. We've got the four of them: sealed halogen, xeon, LEDs. First of all, as far as Jeeps go, there is no, as far as I know, there is no HID option for them. It takes a very special lens for that light to work. But some pros to sealed and halogen lights, they're cheap.
Yep.
They're cheap to fix. Okay. LEDs.
Take a bulb out, put another bulb in.
Little more expensive. Cost per hours, though, this is where it's interesting because xeon lights, I just replaced the xeon light in my wife's Grand Cherokee. It was an $80 bulb.
Yeah.
As where a halogen's a $15 bulb. But if you look at the hours, the xeon lasts a little bit longer, 2,500 hours versus halogen and sealed are about 750 to 1,000 hours. LEDs, though, 5,000 hours minimum.
Yeah.
So they're saying that a good quality LED light will go 10,000 hours. Again, color is important. So both the sealed and the halogen, you got that yellow-white color. With the headlights and the LEDs, we burn it hotter, so you have the white light. Makes things much easier to see. Actually cuts down on glare.
Yep.
Lumens. So, when you're talking about lights and how you're going to pick them, lumens, that's how we measure the intensity of the light. Now, when we talk about it for Pennsylvania state inspection standards in this state, we use the term candle power, but we're going to talk about lumens because that's sort of the general way that we measure them. Both sealed beams and halogen are around 700 to 1,200 lumens, and it varies a little bit between low beam and high beam, and this is kind of an average. Headlights, 3,000, and then LED lights, there's a big 2,000 to 4,000, and that's because that number includes some of the cheaper lights, which I'm going to give you a cautionary tale about. Couple other caution things before I get into that. Or couple other things to consider. Headlights and LEDs need some extra components. So heads do need a ballast. Like I said, you're firing at more than 12 volts initially. So there's a ballast there. LEDs, a lot of them, for our Jeeps anyway, you need an anti-flicker module. So that just smooths out the electricity as it's going back to the CAN bus system, so we're not getting error messages, cleaning up what's going into the LEDs. And I will tell you this, my personal experience, don't buy cheap ones off Amazon. Get good ones right away, because I've got a set for my fog lights that work half the time, and but the ones for my headlights are, I think they're Quadratec's brand. Or I ordered them for Quadratec, and they work great. Yeah. So a couple cautions: halogen bulbs, you can't touch them when you're putting them in. The oil
from film,
from right, and it causes the lens or the glass to heat up differently and expand and contract differently than the rest of the glass, and it'll break. Same thing with xeon bulbs. one of the cautions with LEDs are they don't get hot enough to
Right.
burn the snow off. So if you do buy a set, I would.
I've had to pull over on the side of
Yes.
the highway,
Yeah.
driving
Likewise.
home from skiing
Yeah.
to like pull the ice and
Yes.
water and stuff off of my headlight because I'm like driving down the road. I'm like, what the heck?
My
Why
lights are
my
getting worse.
lights, like-
Yes.
and I'm like, is it me? Am I like?
And it happens so
What the
slow
heck?
sometimes that
You don't
realize,
notice it, but
And it all of a sudden it's like dark, and you're driving down the highway.
and they do make LEDs with heaters.
yeah.
We'll
built
talk
into
about
them.
that too.
And that's what I was going to say. If you buy a set, because I don't have that in mind, but if you buy a set, get them with the heated grids.
Yep.
You know, it's definitely. I never thought about it when I had
Right.
incandescent lighting. Like, there's just
'Cause it
enough
generates
heat there.
heat,
Right.
yeah.
I you know.
It takes heat to burn an LED, but that heat is based in the chip
Yes.
behind it, but not
Right.
Oh yeah,
from the
re-
light.
the
Right.
rear end of it is
Right.
nice and toasty,
Yep.
but the front
But
glass.
But they're still 20% more efficient than a headlight.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
yes, they are.
So part of that with those when you're talking about the standard sealed, the incandescent bulb, and the high intensity bulb, is they are bulbs that are designed to point backwards,
Right.
not forward,
Right.
but backward,
And refract
and
it.
use mirrors
Right.
that are engineered
Right.
in a way to put a beam in a specific way
Correct.
outward.
Yep.
Whereas with LEDs, they are literally tiny little bitches
Mhm.
that only go one direction,
Yep.
and you have to use convex and concave glass or plastic to throw the beam
So
and
that's,
magnify it forward.
that's
Yes.
another thing that I wanted to bring up is not just like the type of what's producing the light, but also the housing itself. So is it a projection like projector lens? Is it a? Have you seen some of that stuff too as well?
Yes.
So
Yep.
it's like the type of housing it's in.
Yep.
Is it a projection beam? Is it a wide beam? Is it a square beam? Because once you get into these
beam patterns.
you're
Right.
getting into LEDs. They
Yeah.
can your high beam could be a square and your
Right.
low beam could be a projection beam
Right.
that
Yep.
Well,
you know,
it's
nice
interesting.
circle, this,
I-
that, and the other thing.
I didn't put that on the notes, but typically, like there's three main basic beam patterns we use. When you look at a low and high beam on a vehicle, you have a much more focused light. Like you were saying, it's like a beam pattern, and then you have more of a flood type light when you're on low beam. But then your fog lights are interesting because that's where, and we'll get into it some other time, but that's where we have a lot of problems because a floodlight, actually the beam pattern should be very flat and low. And then we have driving lights, which work similar to fog lights, but on the high beam side instead of the low beam side, and they're
Right.
projector lights.
right.
So, but we'll get into that some other time. But it feeds right into my cautionary tale about when you buy lights, make sure you buy a good set, quality set, because if you're getting them off Amazon and they're $45 for a set of lights,
There's a reason.
right, they haven't done the research in the refractory part of it. That's where all the money's tied up. The LED part of it costs nothing.
Yeah.
That
Right.
technology has been around forever. It's all in that refractory part.
You can
Right.
put an LED in any housing.
You really can.
And
It-
you
It's
can
just, it's
see,
just it won't work.
I mean, there's
it-
photos
it-
on the
it's ref-
internet.
It will work. It's
But
just
not
that
well.
It's not conducive. It's not good for you to see, and it's not
Right.
safe for the other drivers
No.
as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And there are pictures and videos on the internet all over the place where they actually will take a high dollar LED
Right.
and put it
Mhm.
against a low dollar
right,
LED,
Right. You can see.
and they shine it on a blank wall
Mhm.
like you would a light, and you can see how just coarse that the lighting pattern is
yeah.
versus how precise the lighting pattern would be
So-
for the more expensive one.
So can we transition this into a little bit of a game,
Oh, we kind of hinted at that last week that we were going
or
to.
do we have more to talk about?
No, I
No.
think we're good. I
always
vomited
learn
all
so
the
much.
information that I needed.
We kind of hinted at this last week where we were going to start a new segment in the show, and
Don's time.
No, Battle of the Brackets.
I don't know. He created it, so it's Don's time.
But
and if you notice the background,
it is. So I'm going to try to make it visible to everybody. But we've built a bracket, and I don't know. Is it this one? Oh, look at that! First time I got it. I tried.
So first of all, if you notice the background, it's my Jeep. Why is it my Jeep? Because these bastards never let me have my Jeep out in front of the tent when we go to shows. So it's going to at least be on there.
You paint it red, and we'll put it out front.
I know. I got you.
But what we just said we were going to do is we're going to take a bracket, and we're going to take a pair and talk about it the first week, and then the next week we'll do another until we keep whittling it down and we come up with a winner of that bracket. So this looks like it's going to be 8 weeks or so before we get to a winner.
Where do we want to start? You want to start at
upper left-hand corner.
You want to start at the upper left-hand corner?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how we read.
All right.
And then maybe next week we'll do the upper right-hand corner.
We labeled out brands here.
Yes.
This is tricky.
Yeah.
Because Mopar has different levels of lights. So does Quadratec.
Yeah.
So does Oracle.
So I know that, but this is based on, Mopar really doesn't. They only have one LED set for Jeeps. That's it. But it is based on, let's just say, the general feeling of the light. Okay?
All right.
So I looked at that, like I know Oracle has a bamillion of them,
Right.
and so does Quadratec, but the general feeling, if you were to look at quality beam pattern across let's not worry about features and all that.
I did my research.
Okay.
I did my research, and I'm not going to start.
All right.
Well, Mopar's crap.
Really? You think so?
Here we go.
I love Mopar.
Well, so here that's what I'm going at. Like Mopar's LED headlights in their new JL.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Mopar's old LED lights
On
and
everything else?
and anything
No,
else.
JKs, I love them.
Their old LED lights sucked.
No, I love them.
I think they were terrible.
I love
the
them.
beam pattern wasn't very good. They weren't very bright.
I think it had the
I
best
agree
beam
with Terry.
pattern.
I think they were absolutely crap.
I liked them.
Mopar LED previous 2018 Junkola. We're talking about their new 9-inch. That's the other difference. Mopar went from a 7-inch headlight to a 9-inch headlight.
I'm talking about JKs because that's what I drive.
Nope. Poop.
But
let's
now
talk
Oracle.
This
Oracle is like, let's stick a light on the front that will glow 17 different colors.
I'm not a fan of Oracle either. That's the thing. So, but in this level, I go Oracle because I think their beam pattern, they put more energy and effort into thinking about that. And on top of it, they're like, "Hey, you want to have flashy red lights? There you go, buddy."
Yeah, a good comment here in the price. Mopar.
Oh,
the cost of going
okay,
to
so
the service
true.
counter,
Yep.
the part
Yes,
counter
that
at your
is
local
true.
dealership,
Yep.
and you say, "I need the left headlight," you're paying. You might as well pull.
I will give you that. But I'd still
you're
rather
taking
pay
out
that
a loan
than,
to pay the damn
than having to turn on a goddamn purple headlight.
All right, let's talk. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Oracle because they.
Dude, nothing screams, let's climb a snow hill at the mall like Oracle headlamps.
Well, this guy over here.
wait! I don't just climb them. I get that bitch so stuck.
So stuck.
I break 2 toe straps and a transmission.
So I looked on there, and literally, they have enough headlights on
Oracle?
every brand, car, automobile that you could imagine. I looked up Jeep, and there had to have been 45 headlights.
Same, right? I was like, but every one of them glows a goddamn different color.
No. There are some that are just straight white. You can. They have something for everybody. They have something for lame old you, and they have something for ice
Flashy Rick over there.
Flashy.
The PIMP of the Jeep world.
But I'm also going to say this. I went to their executive page or their personnel page, and out of their executive team and other leaders, there's a shit ton of women that are working there.
Awesome.
And I've got to tip my hat to that
Okay,
because
yes.
women running an industry is awesome,
especially in a non-traditional setting.
And
you know what I mean?
And it's an automotive,
right?
And
being non-traditional,
and
right.
they literally, one of the questionnaires is, what's their favorite car, or what was their first car?
Right.
And everybody had these really cool
right.
answers to that, and I'm just like, this is really cool that I'm looking at
2003 Ford Escape.
I'm looking at this page, and the CEO is a female, and it just kept going, and I was like, this is pretty sweet in the automotive
Still going
industry.
back to that goddamn purple, pink.
Yeah,
light.
right.
I'm like, I'm
so
I'm out.
my vote is Oracle. What you got, Bill?
Oracle. Just
Mopar. All right, so Oracle's going to move on to the next round.
These brackets
I
are
got
what's going to
Jeep
split
Wrangler.
up JLP.
Right here. Oracle Lighting 2007 to 2016 Wrangler JK pre-assembled headlights, LED, no flashy hoo-has,
Dude, I don't buy my LEDs from a company that makes flashy LEDs. It's like buying your underwear. Listen, I get my underwear from Hanes because they don't make silk underwear.
They do.
Hanes does not.
All right.
I quit wearing them if they do.
All right, so Mopar is out.
Mopar's out.
Oracle is moving on.
I'll change the bracket.
Man, this is such a good idea.
I like it.
This is such a good idea because we were going to fight and hate each other.
I'm telling you, this is the end of JLP.
And we
Yeah, say you later.
So Northwest, Northwest Jeepcast, I'll be wailing with you. Rest of these guys will be doing their own thing.
we got at least 8 weeks of this to hate each other. Then we'll get another.
So this should be over first of the year. So basically.
Yeah, then we'll add something.
Whether season 3 happens or not,
season 3 will
be disbanded.
Right.
Me sitting around an empty room
in my
You know what's funny? Our live viewers has dropped dramatically in the past 10 minutes.
No, but I love that, and thanks a lot for putting that information together. It's awesome, and I don't know how to get that off the damn screen again. Oh, there it is. Cool. All right. Take us home, Bill. Where can people find us?
I want you to head over to Don.
The stuff on the interweb.
linktr.ee/Jeeplife podcast. And that's our link tree. And let me tell you, well, if you're listening to us, obviously, you know where to find us. So I want you to tell all of your friends where to find us.
Yes.
And that is just type in that Google search bar, Jeep Life Podcast, and that first link should be our website. If not, definitely check the second one because that's going to be our YouTube.
And if you can't find it, you probably have Oracle Headlights.
That one too. So.
Yeah. You can get that.
No, and I want you to tell at least one person this week about Jeep Life Podcast.
Yeah.
That owns a Jeep.
One person. I don't care if they own a Jeep or
Preferably
not.
without her Oracle Headlights.
Without Oracle Headlights.
Sign up for Patreon.
Absolutely.
That was such a good idea from Jerry earlier today. We need to do something.
I was thinking about that today. We need to do a
specific.
Patreon ride.
Or meetup or something, right?
Yeah. It's getting a little late in the year to be doing a trail ride. I mean, I guess if you want to do some snow
I'm working on hooking up heat in the buggy.
Do you just get one of those heated suits? Like
I was at Home Depot today, or yesterday, looking at the Milwaukee 12-volt guys.
Yes. That would be perfect.
$139 bucks.
That's all you need. Plug it in.
Plug it in. Plug it in.
I knew that was coming. I knew it. Yeah, so we love it. I hope you've enjoyed yourself tonight talking about the headlights, and congratulations again to Scott and Go Fox Adventures.
Mopar's poop.
And, for Bill, Don, and myself, here's a big Jeep wave to you, everybody. Have a good night. All right.
Canadian's still here.
Canada's still there.
He's awesome.
That was fun. I like that.
Excellent.
Right,
thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us.
Yep. Absolutely, guys.
We appreciate it. Good episode.
Yeah, it was fun.
We appreciate it. I'm going to get off here because I'm tired and we have to get up damn early in the morning. So,
all right, guys.
good night, everybody.
Night.
Night.